Welcome back.
All right. Next course.
Next course. We're on course number 2. And I say 2 because actually this is a French-American fusion.
Okay.
So what we've got here today is a Belgian, and notice I said Belgian and not Belgium, as some people would say. But I'm not being a grammar Nazi, I'm just telling you. So, that's true. Anyway, it's Belgian endive, and it's an endive salad. But the fusion here is, instead of olive oil, I decided to use walnut oil.
Okay.
And I included cranberry sauce, which is the American aspect to it, and pomegranates. And then candied, believe it or not, walnuts.
Now are those California walnuts?
They are.
There you go.
Which makes them American, right? So, yes. And then another thing I wanted to mention, that there's a hidden jewel in here.
What is that?
Sardines. So there's a sweet, savory aspect to this.
Yeah.
Along with the sherry wine, which, do you know what sherry wine is?
No, tell me.
I'm not quite sure. I thought you knew.
From what my understanding is, it's like a wine that's mixed with brandy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, brandy. Okay.
Which makes it, that fortified wine.
Mm-hmm.
And sherry was very popular back in the day.
Yeah.
Not as popular nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. And neither is brandy either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what actually our pairing we kind of asked ourselves, should we do brandy? Yes, no.
Mm-hmm.
But then we ultimately came up with what?
Whiskey.
What kind of whiskey?
Tennessee.
Tennessee whiskey.
That's right.
So, and normally we'd have these huge ice cubes in there, but
No,
we
we're gonna have
decided
it
to do it
straight. Yeah.
Cheers.
Good old Tennessee whiskey. Cheers.
Sip. I'm sipping. Now that'll make any endive salad taste good. Speaking of endive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a feeling that most Americans don't call it endive. I unfortunately had the opportunity to live in France, and so lucky.
So it's not endive?
It's not endive. It's not endive. It's endive. And it was funny because last year I went to the grocery store. I think I was getting ready for Thanksgiving, and I was looking for endive, and I was like, "Where are the endive? I can't find them. Of course, it's Harris Teeter, which is not very good. Sorry,
Okay.
Teeter. Sorry, Harris. Sorry, Harris. Anyway, so I asked the produce manager where the endive was, and she looked at me like, "What? What do you mean?" And I said, "It's kind of like a cross between a cabbage and an onion, or what did you call it?"
The way I like to see an endive is like an artichoke made love to a leek. And out came
an
endive.
Well, that's yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah,
it's got the best of both components. It's got those layers, and
yeah, and it's oblong.
Yeah,
and
it's oblong,
like a
so,
leek,
yeah.
and like some of these pieces, like even this looks like a leek, really.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm gonna sneak peek. All right, I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay.
But it's not bad.
Okay.
Anyway, so I asked the grocery store person, the produce manager, where the endive was. So I said, I said cross between a cabbage and an onion, but you're right about the leek.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, how do you spell it? And I said, Endives. And she goes, what? And I said, yeah. And she goes, oh, endives. And I was like, endive. And then I said, pardon my French. So anyway.
Well, you know what? If you want to find an endive in America, ask for an endive.
Yes, you have to ask for an endive.
Yeah.
Sounds like a drive-in to me. Speaking of which, dive in.
Okay, let's go.
Let's try it.
All right.
And I hope you can get like all of the different components.
Okay, I'm gonna
The
try to get a little bit of
endive,
walnut.
the walnut. It's really good. It's really, really good.
I love the walnut oil. It gives you that nuttiness. And if you hadn't told me about the anchovies, I wouldn't have known it. But
But that has that salty flavor.
yeah.
And then the caramelized walnuts kind of add that sweet flavor along with the
Yeah.
tartness of the cranberries and the pomegranate.
Yes, this is a very, very good salad. It's so fresh. It's almost like you are, biting into something very fresh. Yeah, it's so good.
Like a fresh born